I've often asked myself, if somebody's going to book me, Irma Williamson, an actor, as John Wayne, what the heck would I do? Well, I studied John Wayne's life for a couple of years before I did the play over at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks. And I came across with a good play. I incorporated Gary Cooper in it too, because Gary Cooper was, believe it or not, they were two fierce competitors. John Wayne fought against what Gary Cooper was doing, but at the same time, he admired the guy. Gary Cooper, of course, at that time, he was up and out ahead of John Wayne as an actor. Many years. In fact, several of the pictures that John Wayne did, they were made for Gary Cooper. Well, I learned all of this and I put it into my act. And finally, Gary Cooper was replaced by my wonderful wife, Paula, and we did John Wayne, the John Wayne Show. So I asked myself, what would you as a John Q. public like to see John Wayne do? Just about anything that John Wayne can do, I can do. I'm a good swimmer. I'm an athlete. I can twirl the rifle. Well, let's take a look at it and see. I can draw a pistol. I can ride a horse. All my novels, I'm on a horse. I've ridden in Rose Parade. I've been on the Wild Goose. I've entertained celebrities and all other kinds of corporations. I'm a motivational speaker. I speak about how John Wayne came up from the ranks into stardom, almost killed himself a few times and so forth. I tell all the kinds of things that John Wayne has done, good and bad, but I lift him up. And the reason why is because, folks, he's America. Now, we don't want to be a little hokey on that, because it could be a little too hokey. No, John Wayne just appreciated the fact that he was your idol, so to speak, my idol, my hero. Not that I worshiped him any, but I enjoyed watching his movies. I enjoyed watching what he did, how he became John Wayne, how he fought the movies. You know, folks, he didn't want to become an actor at first. I tell him that story. He's a prop boy. John Ford had to go up to San Francisco one time and get him off a boat. I mean, Duke was depressed at one time, and everything was going against him, like it does with you and me and everyone, every Jane and Joe out there. Well, these are the things I put into my act, the realism of who John Wayne is, or who he was, and what he stood for, and how he became the American Idol. A lot of things he didn't want because it was against his nature. All he wanted to do was work like any other individual. But we made him John Wayne. John Ford made him, Howard Hawks made him, Howard Hughes made him. We all made him. And the reason why is because we needed an idol. Oh yeah, there was a story about how he didn't go into the service during World War II. Well, we come out and tell you about that too. Interesting story. We also tell you whether he was a Christian or not. We tell that story. There's a lot of things you people out there may know or may not know about John Wayne. Well, I'm the kind of guy that dug into the ashes to find out, who is this guy? I visited his gravesite before they even made a marker on it. I watched and talked with the people out there. I've talked with people all over the world. They've taken me as far as Japan, and Japanese people like John Wayne. He's their hero. I made 2 documentaries for John Wayne and John Ford with a Japanese company. We had 30 cameras out there in Monument Valley, and I had to go out and chase the Indians. I had a hot horse that, shucks, they didn't even know if I could ride or not, but I did. I showed them. And then when they called us for the commercials, we did the commercials too. They got me on a horse there too for El Dorado. We had the Appaloosa. Now, I don't know if you folks know a lot about Hollywood, but I learned a lot because I'm an actor. We had lights on both sides and sound overhead with a boom, and I was on a horse, and I had to ride in between the lights and the sound, and you only have about 3 or 4 feet in between. Well, I rode the horse in naturally, and I looked into the camera, and I said, my line. 2 wranglers looked over and said, what are we doing here? I backed the horse out, and we had a good time. Just about anything you can think about that you would want John Wayne to do, I would like to do for you. I've gone into birthday parties where the lady was 95 or 100 years old. We gave a great big birthday, and the biggest thing to her was what? Seeing John Wayne. That was gorgeous. I flew just a couple of weeks ago into New York for a 21-year-old girl whose idol was John Wayne. She was having a birthday party. I spent 5 minutes with her, but that was the highlight of the whole thing. 5 minutes with John Wayne, her 21st birthday. Anything you can think about. Oh yeah, I got to explain to you too. I'm a graduate. I've got my doctorate degree. I'm an ordained minister. Doesn't mean a thing to a lot of people, but if you've got a church, how would you like to have John Wayne preach for you? And I've done that. I've graduated from seminary, so I know quite a bit about the Bible and how John Wayne would stick up. One of the lines that John Wayne said was, I want my daughter to have the same thing that I had in life, and to learn the Lord's Prayer. These are the words that John Wayne said. I use the exact words that John Wayne did in my poems, in my recitations. It's just a fun job doing John Wayne. There's no doubt about it. When I step out on stage or step into a restaurant or step into a home or wherever it might be, or like I said on the pulpit, people stand. I can give you an idea. We went into a museum, church in a museum one time, and they were reticent about us coming into it as John Wayne and doing the show inside of a church. And well, they didn't know if they're going to raise enough money, so I set a fee. I said, that's it. We won't go any higher than that. And they had a committee. They said, okay, we'll use you. It took them weeks to decide whether to use us or not, my wife and I. And we got in there, and first thing we knew, we packed the house. The whole church was packed with people lining up along the walls. Not only once, but we packed it 2 times, and they won it the 3rd time. So people love John Wayne. I don't care where it's at, they love John Wayne. I'll walk down the street in a John Wayne outfit, and nobody will look at me, and I'll pass them on by, and they'll immediately turn around and say, hey, wasn't that John Wayne? It was a lot of fun, like I said, ladies and gentlemen. I want to dedicate my life to the image of John Wayne, and you can help me. Thank you.